my realm of happiness because I get to talk to you guys about Disney. My top 10 basically hacks for Disneyland specifically. Now, what I wanted to go over with you guys is where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and all of the life hacks that I have learned over the multiple times of going to Disney World and Disneyland, but we're gonna keep this Disneyland specific. And precursor to this whole thing, I just really want you guys to know that this is adult friendly and there will be cocktails included. All right, so my first Disneyland hack is where to stay. You can either stay on property for a pretty penny. There are 3 different Disneyland hotels. There is the Disneyland Hotel, there is the Grand Californian, and there is the Paradise Pier Hotel. By staying on property, you get the advantage of going into the park first. You actually have like a backdoor access into some of the parks, which is awesome. And you get something called extra magic hours, which means that when the park is open for an extra hour in the morning or at night, you get special entrance when no one else does. So it's a huge advantage in terms of riding rides and getting that head start, or just those extra hours at the end of the day. To me, I love it, and like I said, you don't lose the magic. My favorite Disneyland hotel so far, I have to say, is the Disneyland Hotel. That's where we just stayed this past trip. Now, off property, you can stay anywhere from the Howard Johnson to the Marriott. There are so many hotels right on the strip of where Disneyland is that it'll be a 5-minute walk. And that is the cool part about Disneyland. You don't have to drive in. You can literally just take a 5-minute walk, or a lot of these hotels offer a trolley service or a shuttle service right to Disneyland's front doors, and it just becomes so simple. My second tip that I want to share with you guys, and this is what I am all about when it comes to Disney, is where to eat. I have such a strong opinion on food at Disneyland. There really is such an amazing opportunity to have some of the best food you've ever had in the world. So I'm going to share with you my top 3 picks for breakfast, for lunch, and then for dinner. And you can do the rest of the exploring because I feel like that could be a video in its own. Now for breakfast, hands down, out of every Disney resort, actually, I would say that Disneyland has the best breakfast. Carnation Cafe on Main Street, USA at Disneyland is the bomb diggity. Mickey waffles like no other. No other Disney restaurant can replicate these Mickey waffles. You guys might have seen me post on Instagram. Yes, that's my picture, and that is my favorite breakfast probably on the planet. It's beautiful. You can sit outside on the little courtyard area looking out at Main Street. It's incredible. Every single thing on the menu is amazing. Now I will say, make sure that you make reservations, which you can do so easily right on the app. Now for lunch, at Disneyland, this is also in the Disneyland Resort, my favorite ever lunch spot has to be the Blue Bayou. The Blue Bayou restaurant is in New Orleans Square, which is where the Pirates of the Caribbean is. Now going into the restaurant, it's a really unique experience because it feels like it's at night and you're like on the bayou, the lights are really dim and there's like these fake little fireflies flying around, and you realize you're actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which is so cool. You can see the boats going by while you're eating. My favorite thing to have there is the Monte Cristo sandwich, and you can get a little bowl of gumbo right before. Amazing. Not calorie friendly, but calories don't count in Disney, so it doesn't even matter. Now for dinner, our favorite spot and probably the best restaurant on Disneyland property is Napa Rose, which is at the Grand Californian Hotel. Yes, it's a little bit more pricey. Yes, it's like a 5-star resort or 5-star restaurant, but it's beautiful, delicious, perfect service, perfect food, perfect drinks. It's the best. Now, if you want to save a little bit of money, something that we did, and we actually did this twice this past trip, we just sit in the lounge and we order snacks and deliciousness. You can order right off the menu, and we have our drinks by the fireplace in the lounge, and that will keep your bill to a minimum so that you're not having like a 5-course meal. All right, tip number 3. This is something that will save you so much time, so much energy, and it's something again that you can do before you arrive. Download that Disneyland app. Now, in terms of waiting in line, Andre and I watched so many people wait in line for over an hour for some rides. 15 minutes, 45 minutes, 70 minutes we saw in some rides. Why would you do that when there is something magical called a Fast Pass? Now, Fast Passes at Disneyland are amazing, and this is why they trump the ones at Disney World. At Disney World, you get something that's called a Magic Band. You get this little bracelet, and you get 3 Fast Passes a day. That's your limit. Now, at Disneyland, they have no way of tracking that. You don't have a Magic Band. You have a ticket, a paper ticket, or a plastic ticket, depending on if you're saying on or off property. The opportunity for Fast Passes is endless. The way that we hack the system is we will go get a Fast Pass first thing in the morning to a really popular ride. We'll go have breakfast, and before we go to ride that ride that we have the Fast Pass for, we will actually go grab another fast pass. Because that allotted time slot, you get an hour time slot, that time slot has begun. They have no way of knowing if you've actually entered the ride or not. They just know that your fast pass time has begun. Let's say it's at 10:25. At 10:25, we go get the fast pass for the next ride we want to go on. And we just keep doing this. Now, to blow your mind even more, they don't track Disneyland versus California Adventure. So you can actually hop from park to park if you have a park hopper pass and get tickets to different rides at the same time. Make sure that you get on the fast pass train. It just makes so much sense. If you were following Andre and I on Snapchat while we were in Disneyland, you saw that we weren't waiting in lines. Like, we were just like going through all the lines like beasts, and it really allows you to just experience so much more and not have to feel like you're waiting in line the whole time. Utilize the fast pass opportunity. And if you must, just send your kids to go run and get them. All you need is your park tickets, and you put them in the little machine and it'll spit out your fast passes for you. Now, with that same app that I was talking about, you can check the wait times for each line. So if you know that the wait time for a certain ride is only 10 minutes, man, go ride that while it's still at 10 minutes. That way you don't have to walk all the way across the park to see the time. You can just check the app. The other thing that you can check on that app that I think is so cool is you can now track where the characters are. If a character is out and about in a park, it will show you its actual geolocation in the park, and you can go find it. You can set a filter to look for a specific character, like, I don't know, Olaf. My fourth tip, and this is such an important tip, what to bring in the park. Now, obviously you can bring your water bottles and your food and all that stuff. Disneyland allows you to do that. But what do you bring as a bag? So I'm going to show you guys what I use so that you're still looking cute, and also you're not carrying around a big lug and backpack, or just not have anything at all. And I personally think that you should have a bag, because if you're bringing your camera or your cell phone and you just have your park tickets, that way everything goes in the bag. Now, just note, if you do bring a bag, they are going to check it at security before you get into the park. It's a new thing that Disney does. You go through a metal detector as well now. So these are the bags that I use. This is my daytime bag and this is my nighttime bag. So this is what I use to go to dinner. It's a little crossbody bag. They make some by Kate Spade and by Coach. I get that. But Angie was a little bit resourceful and found this one from Hot Topic. They also sell it on Amazon. It's by LoungeFly, Minnie Mouse collection by LoungeFly. And when you open it up, there's like the little polka dot situation. It had a big bow on it, like a big Minnie Mouse plastic bow. I unstitched it and I took it off because I just thought this was so much more basic, and I actually love it. It was not that expensive. I think it was like $35. And the Kate Spade one, while it's beautiful, is $350. So if that's your thing, go for it. Yes, I would love it if someone wants to mail it to me, please, by all means. But this does the trick, and I think it's adorable and perfect for dinner. Now, this little bag is what I carry around during the day. I've got my keychain on it. I always buy a keychain. All right, so my next tip is ears. Obviously, I have a couple sets of ears, but I want to talk to you guys about that you don't have to wait till you're in the park. If you want these ones, get them in the park. I also have the Christmas ones that are like green with the red bow, and then I have the basic ones that I can't find anywhere, but they're my favorite. They're the most basic ones that you see. These, though, are my favorite, and I got these in the park in the kids section. They are little clip-on ears, so they have a little clip, and you just clip them right on in, and that way they don't fall off during rides. Well, they might. It's happened. But it's just so much more comfortable, and if you have like a non-child size head like me, these things can hurt after a while. So this is just so cute, and it's also a little bit more subdued if you just want to be a little bit under the radar but still have like a little bit of kid in you. So I thought these were super cute. Now, if you don't want to get one at the park and you maybe want cheaper or more unique, or you just want to be different, go on Etsy. They have the cutest ears in all sorts of different kinds. You can get some custom made with flowers or with crowns and glitter and all sorts of stuff. There are so many different Etsy shops that make them, so I want to share that with you guys. Now, same goes for your kids' toys. If you don't want to be spending a boatload of money buying a bunch of toys in the park, you can actually just go to a regular Disney store before your trip. The cost of the toy will be about half probably. And what I would love to do if I had kids, and I just want to share this with any parents, put it in their luggage when you're packing for them. Put it in their luggage at the last minute and put some glitter in and let them know that Tinkerbell brought it for them, and they will probably be over the moon, and that way you don't have to be spending boatloads of money in the park on toys. Now that takes me to my sixth tip. If you need to get balloons, snacks, anything like that, and you drop it or your kid drops it, I want you to know that Disney will actually replace it for you. Now, another thing that I want to share, since we're talking about balloons, a couple people might have seen my balloon picture on Main Street that I took you don't need to buy 50 balloons or whatever it is that I was holding. They will actually let you hold it. You just have to ask them to step aside. They will have to hold the end of the balloons for you. And I just stepped into Main Street, held it, and like kind of leaned over, and I asked my husband, who is my professional photographer, to drop low and take a picture pointing up at the castle. That way the cast member was not in the scene, and it looked like I had a bunch of balloons. If you want to buy a balloon, I'm pretty sure that they're like $20. Whatever it was, I was shocked at how much it was. I thought it would be about $7, and I think it was like between 15 and 20. I don't even know. It was crazy. But just know, if you do get one, which I did, and you let go of it for whatever reason, they will replace it. Same goes with food and all of that good stuff. Disney just wants you to have a great time. All right, my 7th tip is what to wear on your feet. You will walk more than you ever have in Disney, so I want you to know that you need to be wearing comfortable shoes. Now, you can wear running shoes. That's the obvious choice. But if you go on a water ride or if it rains, you're going to be stuck with wet, soggy feet, and if you're going from inside to outside, it's gonna get cold. So what I personally do is I wear Toms. I love the Toms shoes. Now I'm gonna show you mine. So I actually have 3 sets of these custom Toms, all painted in my favorite movie characters. So this is my Wreck-It Ralph Toms. I love it. I also have a Moana pair, and I have an Up pair. Now, for dinner, same thing with my bags. I don't wear these to dinner unless we're going to somewhere pretty casual, which usually we go to a sit-down dinner, like a nice classy dinner. So I'm gonna show you what I wear for dinner time or just a classier evening. These little flats are my current obsession. I don't know if you can see how sparkly they are. I also have them in pink and in black, but these are so Disney and so perfect, and they're so comfortable. So if we are walking around after dinner to a park or whatever, these are so perfect. They're from Aldo. I love them, and they were not that much. All right, now kind of bringing it back into the whole photo situation, my 8th tip that I have to share with you guys is where to go for photo ops, how to get a great shot in Disney. There are so many spots to get great photo ops. One of my favorite spots is that little teacup that you can go into right near the teacup ride. But another thing that I like to do is just go to the areas where there aren't a lot of people. And there are so many of these empty areas in Disneyland, especially where there is no one. And you can actually take your time and get a really cool shot, and it doesn't have to be that like tourist shot. It might not even look like you're totally in Disney, which I kind of love. Now there's the obvious shot in front of the castle and all of that stuff, but to me, the most magical shots are the ones that nobody else has ever done, and the way that you get that is you hire a photographer. Now, I don't mean those PhotoPass cast members that are all over the park. You can of course get pictures with them, but again, that's going to be a picture that everybody else has. So what Andre and I did is we actually hired someone. Her name was Sabrina. There is also another company, there's tons of companies, but there's another company called White Rabbit Photography, and what they will do is they have their own park tickets, and they will come into the park with you. They'll meet you there first thing in the morning, and that's what Sabrina had done, and we had so much fun, and she showed us such great spots to take pictures. But one thing that we love that she did is she actually got on the rides with us. And just know that at Disney, you're not allowed your selfie stick. So what I personally bring in is my GoPro. Now, I don't put my GoPro on a selfie stick, obviously, because it'll get taken away at the door. But what I do is I just have the little camera, which is so compact and so perfect for Disney, and I will actually just glide it between my fingers and hold on to the bar during the ride, and it will capture Andre and I both like in full action. It's so much fun. Now, one of my last tips, my 9th tip, and this is probably one of my favorite topics ever at Disney, there are so many people that don't experience Disney the right way, and that is with cocktail. Now, Disney makes the best alcoholic drinks on the planet. They have their own menu. They even have a hidden menu. So what Andre and I love to do is actually explore all of the different spots to get cocktails. I do have to say that Disneyland is a little bit more weak in this area because the Disneyland park itself does not serve alcohol. Yes, I repeat, the Disneyland park does not serve any alcohol. So we don't go for dinner there. That's why we only have lunch there. And then for dinner, we'll go to either the resort or we will go to California Adventure, the Cove Bar. The Cove Bar is overlooking where the fireworks will be, if you want to call them fireworks. It's actually a light show. The World of Color show is actually out over the lagoon area where the Ferris wheel is. It's beautiful, and you can go have a cocktail there if you don't get stuck in the line. Now, that is where they have their hidden menu. They have drinks like the Black Pearl that will knock your socks off. They're so good. Now, I have to tell you what my favorite cocktail is, I guess now. My favorite Disney cocktail of all time is the Magical Star. You can get it in any Disney resort, Disneyland, Disney World. It's basically this pink passion fruit martini, and I go like this, it's not that big. It's like, and they put a glow cube in it. It's so amazing and so delicious. So yeah, don't ever think that Disney is just for kids, because they actually make it pretty amazing and pretty special for adults as well. Now my last and final tip, and this is not a epiphany, but it could change the entire way your trip goes. And it is something that took me a little bit of time to figure out because I am such a planner at heart and I always want everything to go perfect. But the moments that I always remembered the most, the moments that were always so magical at Disney, were the ones that weren't planned. They were the mistakes. They were the day that it rained, or the day that we got stuck somewhere, or the day that something just wasn't perfect and that turned into something amazing. The day that we turned a certain way instead of another way and we got lost and we ended up stumbling on Dole Whip, which totally changed my life. That is how the magical moments are made at Disney. So learn to enjoy and just relax and soak it in. Not everything has to be scheduled and super, super perfect. So I hope that all these tips were helpful. If you guys want to hear more Disney tips, please let me know in the comments below. Really quickly, I know someone's gonna ask, this shirt is by Super Fresh. I get all of my Disney shirts either from Hot Topic or Super Fresh Clothing. You can download their app or follow them on Instagram. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Mwah. Bye, guys.